put some videos online about some practice plans, and I'm going to go and try to explain some of them. So this is practice plan number one. So the first thing I start with, and I like this a lot, is it's a base running competition. And the reason I like it is because the competition itself creates that urgency that you want your guys to feel when they get their leads from first base. So the base running competition is, I have a pitcher there. It's a coach. It's generally me. And I make sure I match up all the similar speeds. So I would call them like rabbits. But we get that first group up, and they can go a little bit. And, certainly after they're warmed up. But you got three people competing against each other. And then I award points for if they win the race, they get +2. So there's a imaginary finish line. So that winning of the race is this idea of trying to steal the base. If they flinch, when I go to throw over, if they flinch, if they go the wrong direction, then I subtract a point. And if I pick them off, they lose 3 points. And that's a really good way to begin a practice because there's immediate emotion and kids love to run. And so this idea, and the cool thing about it is the fastest kid doesn't necessarily always win, because the fastest kid will often flinch, or the fastest kid will get picked off. So that's the base running competition. And the next thing I do is I do an imagination game. And the imagination game has 3 lines. You need 2 coaches to execute the imagination game. So you got 1 coach over here, 1 coach in the middle. And the imagination game starts with this guy sprinting at this coach, throwing him the ball. And we're trying to hit targets. It simulates a little bit of rundown execution, but he's driving at that coach. And then what I'll do here is I'll roll a ground ball, and then he'll throw to that same coach for an out. And then this guy puts the ball in his bare hand, or he puts the ball in his glove hand. And he goes and he makes a backhand play. So he'll run over here, making a backhand play, and then throw it. And that's why I call it the imagination drill, is because you really get to see this line be creative. And you get to see if they field the backhand ball like this, or if they just ignore that component and just go and try and do something. Some of the most creative will even dive at this portion of the imagination drill. And then what I'll do is they'll rotate lines, so then they'll just slide over. And then the second piece to the imagination drill is then this one does a forehand. So the same coach is there. This one goes glove side, and then we'll turn and throw. This line here will be a tag and a return. So I'll throw it in the air, and they'll apply a tag, and then they'll redirect it to me. And then this one, I'll bounce a ball. And it'll be a charge ball. Well, they'll have to field it and throw it, and it'll be a charge ball. So we really like that. And truth be told, that's often how I would start my practices, the base running and the imagination. But not always, but often. So the next thing then is catch it on the run. So I love being creative, and I love having my athletes be excited. And this catch it on the run, the way I have it set up is it's 3 things at once. And I'm trying to be aware of space. Like some people don't have indoor practice space. So this idea is you have a coach here, and he runs to a spot, and you flip him a ball. So it's just a really close play, and he's trying to extend and make a play. And then he catches it, and he drops it in a bucket. And then immediately he takes off in this direction. And then I throw him a ball over the shoulder. And he catches it, and then he drops it in a bucket. And then he turns and he comes back here, and there's another coach throwing him a ball that he has to catch on the run. So that idea of catching it on the run, you're catching this one like extending this way, and then you turn, and then you catch it this way, and then you turn, and then you catch it one of these forward ways. Then I have make the whole play. So what you do is you just line up all your guys and catchers in gear, and make the whole play means I'm going to throw a ball in your direction. You're going to field it. The infielders might just field it. That's half the play. And then they got to turn and they got to hit a target, and that's the whole play. Your catchers, you might throw a block ball where they have to block it. That's half of the play. And then they got to recover it and hit a target and make the whole play. And an outfielder, you might throw it up and they have to catch it, and then they have to return it and make the whole play. And you're just trying to, again, create some excitement, get them moving. But that idea of make the whole play puts some emphasis on the throw. I think a lot of times we overemphasize the field and we just neglect the throw, which obviously I'm trying to address with the imagination drill. Then I have hit. And then this horse competition, such a fan, and the kids love it. So the horse competition in a team environment is you would split it up. So let's say that you split it up, team A's and team B's. And team A, this guy goes up and he hits first, and he gets a single. All right, so he gets a single, and then team B comes in. And team B pops up, a little pop-up, a weak pop-up. So team B now has an H. They have an H. Now team A, this person for team A, he enters, and he's got no pressure. That he doesn't have to perform because a letter has been assigned. So the second guy for team A comes up, and let's say he pops up, so nothing. So now team B comes in, and maybe he doubles. All right, then the third guy for A comes in and he singles. Well, that's not a double. So team A gets an H, and on we go. If this happens, let's say that team B then comes up. So now team B comes up and they double, and team A comes up and they double. They've met the qualification. They had to get a double. They did get a double. Now team B jumps up. They are in a no pressure. Like it ends. Like you can't give your teammate pressure. So it's not like this double gives this pressure. It doesn't happen that way. But if A hit a home run, now B would have pressure because A did better than B. So to avoid a letter, you have to match it or do better. And if you do better, now the pressure shifts. It's very much like the basketball. I mean, that's all we're doing. But we did add some cool little ideas there. Now, and the kids love it. Like they beg for horse, and it's a lot of fun. And you can set certain ground rules as appropriate. One of our ground rules was always if you hit the L screen, it was an automatic double. So that was practice number 1 on the sheets that I shared.